Hello and welcome to Movement with Laurelle, hosted by Wild Wandering Creations. I'm Laurelle and I'll be leading you through your practice today. Our practice focus today is stretch and release. It's one of my favorite classes to teach. I teach it regularly with the studio that I'm at, KULA, and it's honestly just pure bliss. So I wanted to share it with all of you today. It's basically you hold long stretches, you get right into the body, and then you're able to completely release into the mat. So it's a really great class to do in the evening, right before bed, but it's also a good reset to do at any point during the day. So go ahead and save this video and use it as many times as you would like. So go ahead and hop into something comfortable and we'll get started. We're going to start off in a seated position. So I often like to have a block underneath my seat. It just helps elevate my hips a little bit higher and I have a little bit more room to completely relax into the earth. So go ahead, find what works for you. You can maybe put a blanket, a pillow, whatever it is, or you can just sit on your mat just as is. So go ahead, ground down through those sits bones. Feel that tightness and tension release as you begin to soften through the shoulders. You can close down the eyes, soften the gaze, and just settle into the body. You can begin to notice the breath and focusing on each inhale and exhale. Notice where the breath is traveling to and just letting your awareness fall there. And taking a moment as we settle into stillness and recognizing that yoga is an ancient Eastern practice, most notably from India. So taking a moment to thank our South Asian ancestors who cultivated this practice for us to be able to partake in it. And beginning to feel the connection with the earth underneath your seat. Noticing all the points where the earth is holding space for you. Maybe taking a moment to set an intention for your practice, your sankalpa. It can be as simple as I am here, I am grounded, I am connected. Using your inner voice to silently repeat this intention a few times and letting it sink in and holding it with you throughout the entire practice. And let's all take one deep inhale from the belly. And holding the breath at the top. And then exhale, side out. And feeling yourself settle into this shape. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. Hold the breath. And exhale, side out. 1 more deep belly breath. Hold it at the top. And then exhale, side out. Let's inhale to reach the arms up towards the sky. Reach tall through the fingertips. And then exhale, release the hands down through heart center and connecting palm to palm. And slowly beginning to walk your hands out in front of you. Allowing your head to round here, chin to chest. Feel that nice rounding in the spine. And letting any tightness or tension release in the shoulders, in the neck, in the head. And then slowly begin to walk your hands over towards the right side, keeping your head down, and begin to ground down through that right palm. Inhale to spin the heart open, open the chest, reach the left arm up towards the sky. And as you exhale, releasing that arm back down, and taking a moment here in stillness on your right side. And then slowly beginning to walk your hands over towards the left. And taking a moment here to breathe. And then on your next inhale, reach that right arm up towards the sky. Spin the heart open. Reach long through the fingertips. Hold here for one breath. And then as you exhale, release that hand. And slowly pause here for one moment. And then begin to walk your hands back through center. Content the fingertips here. Round through the spine. Really tuck that chin in towards your chest. Letting the crown of the head draw down towards the earth. And then as you exhale, slowly begin to walk your hands in towards the body. Rolling all the way up. Let's take a nice big roll of those shoulders. And let the body settle in stillness. And then taking your right hand and grabbing a hold of the head, begin to draw that right ear towards your right shoulder. You can keep your left hand on that left thigh, or you can press it out towards the left side, flexing through that left hand. Activating that arm. We're holding here for 3. And for 2. And for 1, inhale to lift up through that head, stacking it on top of the shoulders. You can release that right hand alongside the body. And switching sides, go ahead and grab the outside of that head and draw the left ear to your left shoulder. Again, you can draw that right hand to your right thigh, or you can release it alongside the body, flexing through those fingertips. And breathing into that right side of the neck. Maybe you soften the gaze, draw the awareness to the breath. And then on the inhale, slowly release the head and stacking it on top of the shoulders once more. Inhale to reach those arms up towards the sky. And exhale, twist towards that right side, release that right hand behind you, and release that left hand on that right knee. Inhale here to find a little length through the spine. And as you exhale, seeing if you can twist a little deeper. And drawing your gaze over your right shoulder. Nice gentle twist, trying not to strain here. On your next inhale, coming all the way back through center, reach up through the arms. Making sure that those shoulders aren't creeping up towards the ears. And on the exhale, twist towards that left side. Right hand comes on top of that left knee. Left hand comes behind you. Inhale here, find some length. And as you exhale, seeing if you can soften the gaze, soften the shoulder. Nice gentle twist. Just releasing any tightness or tension in the spine. One more deep breath here. And then inhale, come back through center, reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale to draw the hands down towards heart center. And then release both arms out nice and wide. Spread your wings, lift the chest, open the heart. And as you exhale, cross that right arm over the body and wrap that left arm up across the right arm. You can hold right here, just getting into that nice deltoid stretch. Or you can maybe release out that wrist, moving it a few times in one direction and then the other direction. Or if it feels better to just sit in stillness and find what feels good for you. And one more deep breath here. And then as you exhale, reach those arms out nice and wide. Spread those wings, open the chest. Inhale here, find a little length. And as you exhale, cross that arm over the body, switching sides. Again, you can find a little wrist movement. Maybe if you hear some clicks and clacks, just get right in there. Or maybe you just sit here in stillness, feeling that nice stretch in that left arm. And one more deep breath here. And exhale, spread those arms nice and wide, open up. And then exhale to release the hands on top of the thighs. Just rolling out those shoulders, releasing any tension. You can do a little wiggle. Let it go. And sitting in stillness, just beginning to find some nice neck rolls. Moving in one direction as you drop the chin down towards your chest. Nice and slow. And then switching other side. You can linger on the areas that have a little bit more tightness, a little bit more tension. And give those areas a little love. Breathe into them. Allow them to release. And then settle back into stillness. Inhale to spread those arms wide one more time. And then as you exhale, draw the right arm underneath the left. We're going to find eagle arms. If eagle arms doesn't feel good for you, you can just cross the arms across the body, almost like you're giving yourself a little hug. So find what works for your body. If you don't have the space, that's okay. We're all different. And if you do have your arms in eagle arms, begin to lift the elbows up and the forearms away from the face. And as we inhale, we're going to reach the arms up towards the sky, arch through the spine, look up. And as you exhale, draw the arms in towards the body, round through the spine, tuck the chin in towards your chest. Inhale to lift up. And exhale to round. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, round. One more here. Inhale, lift up nice and high. And this time as you exhale, open up those arms nice and wide. Inhale here, find some length. And then exhale, drawing that left arm underneath the right, finding eagle arms on the other side. Again, if this doesn't feel good, you can always wrap those arms around the body. Hugging those fingertips around the shoulder blades. Find what feels good for you. Find what works for your body. And as you inhale, lift the elbows up. Draw the forearms away from the body. And seeing if you can lift the chest up. Draw the arms up towards the sky. And exhale, round here. Moving with breath. Inhale, lift up nice and high. And exhale to round. Inhale to lift up. And exhale to release down. Tuck that chin. Draw everything into the body. Last one right here. Inhale. And exhale, open the arms nice and wide. And exhale to release them down. If you have anything underneath your seat, you can go ahead and release that block, that pillow, that blanket off to the side. And we're going to take our knees nice and wide as the mat, big toes touch. And we're going to come all the way down into Balasana, child's pose. You can release the forehead down towards the earth, letting the forearms and the elbows relax into your mat. And drawing your hips down towards your heels. And feeling that nice opening in that hip. Opening in the low back, the mid back, and the upper back. And beginning to direct the breath, breathing into the pelvis and along the spine. And allowing yourself to settle into stillness. Noticing where your mind is going. Noticing your thoughts, your feelings. And then allowing your attention to draw back to the breath. One more deep breath here. And on your next inhale, press into the palms, lift up just enough to slide that right arm underneath the left. You're going to draw your right shoulder down and your right ear down towards the earth. Extend that left arm to the top of the mat. You can engage that arm so the whole arm is lifted. And you're just drawing your awareness to that right shoulder. And seeing if you can release the hips down a little bit more. One more deep breath here. And then as you inhale, let it draw that right arm up towards the left. And switching sides, slide that left arm underneath the right. Left shoulder down, left ear down. Extend that right arm nice and tall to the top of the mat. Making sure that you're still releasing your seat down towards your heels. And we're here for 3. And for 2. And for 1. Inhale to draw that left arm up towards the mat. And pausing in child's pose for 1 breath. You can release that forehead. You can release the elbows and the forearms. And just give your forehead a little rock from side to side. And giving that face a little massage. And then on your next inhale, slowly begin to roll the body all the way up. And finding your way into an all-fours position. Making sure that the fingers are spread nice and wide and the knees are underneath the hips. Moving through a little cat-cow to get into that spine. Inhale to look up. And exhale to round. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale to round. Inhale, lift up, find some length. And exhale to round here. Next time as you inhale, find that nice neutral spine. Feeling the navel draw in towards the spine, really grounding down through the hands. And pressing the tops of the feet into the earth. As you begin to spin the fingertips towards the body. Finding a little wrist stretch. We often forget about our wrists, so we're going to give our wrists a little bit of love. So there's a lot of options here. If this is feeling too intense, and always draw the knees a little bit closer. It takes the edge off. If you're feeling fine and you want a little bit more, you can move through a few cat-cow. Inhale, look up, feeling that nice stretch in the forearm. And then exhale to round. Being really mindful of your body. If you feel any tension in those wrists, I want you to stay nice and still and just breathe into it. And holding here for a couple more breaths. Maybe close down the eyes to feel that connection. Feeling that nice release in the wrists and the arms. And one more deep breath here. And then on your next inhale, slowly begin to turn the fingertips, the face, the front of the mat. Notice how that feels. Maybe your wrists feel a little bit lighter. And we're going to move into another wrist stretch. So you can begin to take the backs of your hands towards the mat. Now, if this is feeling okay on one side, you can put both down. But this is a pretty intense stretch. So if it's not feeling okay, we're just going to do one at a time. So you can, if you have only one hand released to the earth, I want you to concentrate your awareness into that area and maybe put a little bit more weight into that side. And breathing into it, feel that nice release. We're here for one more breath. And then on your next exhale, I want you to slowly take that palm back down towards the earth. Right away, switching sides, taking that left hand down towards the mat, fingertips face you. Back of the hand presses into the earth. You can begin to draw awareness of the differences of sides. Maybe you have a bit more space in one wrist depending on which hand you use the most. If you're right-handed or left-handed, it will be different for everyone. Breathing into it. A couple more breaths here. You could close down the eyes, soften the gaze, and just draw your awareness to that left wrist. One more deep breath here. And exhale to release that palm down towards the earth. Maybe you release both down if you were doing both at the same time. Beginning to ground down through all 5 fingertips. I'm going to move into one last wrist stretch. So I want you to really pay attention to each fingertip. Really ground down through each one. And as you do so, every time we inhale, we're going to begin to lift the space between our wrists and our thumb. We're going to engage into the fingertips, only lifting up that little space here. So it's just right here. So you're going to inhale, lift up, making sure that you're grounding down through the fingertips, trying to keep each finger grounded, and exhale to release back down. Inhale to lift. You should feel some engagement in the forearms. Exhale to release down. Let's do it 3 more times. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to release. Nice and easy. Inhale, engage the fingertips. Exhale to release. This is really, really good for anyone practicing handstand or really getting into down dog. It really helps engage the fingertips and get into the practice of actually using each fingertip as we move through postures. Okay, I think that's 5. Let's release there. I'm going to tuck your back toes. I'm going to draw your seat towards your heels. We're going to get into a little toe stretch. And then we'll roll out those wrists as we do so. So you can interlace those hands. Let's roll it out. Feels really good after stretching. A couple more breaths here. We moved from one stretch to our toes, and sometimes the toe stretch can be just as intense. So we'll use our little roll out of our wrist to distract us. And then you can just shake out the wrists, let it go. Maybe you do a little stretch, little release, whatever you need. Let it go. And then you're just going to release your hands on top of your thighs. We're going to breathe into the space between our toes. This can be really intense, so really concentrating on each inhale and exhale. We're just here for a couple more breaths. Hold on to it. Breathe into it. And then exhale, drawing the hands down towards the earth. Let's give those feet a little tap, a little release, and giving our joints that nice, gentle release that we need. And then you can sit back on the heels. Just pause here for a breath. Close down the eyes, soften the gaze, and notice how the body's feeling in this moment. Notice how those stretches have made you feel. Do you feel a little bit more loose? Do you feel the tension fall away? Or are you still feeling a little tight? Not judging, just observing. And then slowly releasing those hands down towards the earth. We're going to come to sit on our seat, and we're going to draw the heels forward in front of us. So you can straighten the legs out nice and long, and we're going to flex through those toes. We're going to inhale here to lift the arms nice and high. And as you exhale, you're going to fold forward, and we're just going to do a nice passive forward fold. So you can release the hands on either sides of those legs. Maybe they find your ankles, maybe they find your toes. But what I want you to make sure that you're doing is hinging from the hips and not collapsing in the shoulders. So for me, I'm not actually super flexible, so I like to sometimes just release my fingertips on either side and just allow my head to round. So I draw the chin in towards my chest, but I'm making sure that I'm hinging from those hips. And keep those toes flexed. And we're going to breathe here for about 6 breaths. So beginning to draw awareness to each in-breath and each out-breath. And noticing all the points the breath is traveling to. And where's the breath coming from? Do you notice it in the belly? In the chest? Maybe it's in the throat. Maybe it's in the nose. I'm just drawing awareness to each breath and where it's traveling to. And one more deep breath here. And then wherever you are, slowly beginning to walk the hands in towards the body. And you're going to draw the left sole of your foot to the inside of that right thigh. So that right leg is going to extend nice and long, and the sole of the left foot is in the inside of the thigh. You're going to inhale to reach the arms up, and then spin the heart over towards those right toes. And we're just going to find another passive forward fold, releasing the hands on either side of that left leg. Maybe it finds the ankles, maybe it finds the toes. But again, I want you to hinge from the hips. It's just a nice passive forward fold. We're not trying to strain here. We're just trying to find a nice little release. So find what works for you in your body and just breathe into it. Maybe you have a little bit more space today. Maybe you have a little bit more tightness. Just observing where your body is in this moment. And one more deep breath here. And as you inhale, I want you to reach the arms up towards the sky and spin the heart open, turning towards that left knee. I want you to release that left hand behind you. And as you inhale, I want you to sweep that right arm up, lift the hips, finding dancer stretch. Open up that heart, and then exhale, release everything down. And switching sides, extending that left leg nice and long, and taking the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left leg. Find what works for you, grounding down through the sits bones. And then inhale to lift the arms up nice and high. Begin to turn your body towards those left toes. And exhale, hinge from those hips. Release the hands either on either side of that leg, on that ankle, or on those toes. You can round through the spine, tucking the chin in towards your chest. Allowing the head to fall heavy. Noticing how this side might feel different from the first. And just allowing yourself to breathe in stillness. And one more deep breath here. And then as you inhale, reach the arms all the way up, spinning your heart open towards that right side, turning towards that right knee. And as you exhale, release that right hand behind you. Inhale, lift that left arm, lift the hips, finding dancer stretch. Exhale to release all the way down. And taking both knees in towards you, soles of the feet ground down. And just give yourself a nice little hug. You can round through the spine here, feeling that nice gentle release. And then slowly unwrap yourself, making sure that you have enough space behind you to roll down. And then we're going to slowly find our way onto our backs. Taking your time, getting there in your own time with your own breath. And then once you get there, I want you to draw those knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice little hug. A nice little rock and roll from side to side. Giving that low back a little massage. And eventually settle into some stillness here. Give yourself a nice little tight squeeze. And then release the legs nice and long. Coming into your final pose of Shavasana. Extend the legs. Let the feet fall away from each other. And find as much space as you need. And allow the palms to reach up towards the sky. Inhale here, nice and deep through the nose. And exhale, side out the mouth. And feel the body settle into the earth. And feel that nice gentle release. Noticing any areas that might be holding on to tension. And seeing if you can direct your breath to those areas, allowing the body to completely relax, completely surrender into the earth. Feeling the muscles in your face soften. Feeling your shoulders sink into your mat. And feeling safe and supported by the ground underneath you as you settle into stillness. And you can stay here as long as you want. And press pause on that video and allow yourself to just sink in to this shape and breathe. And when you feel ready, you can slowly begin to roll your body onto one side. And pausing there for a moment and just letting yourself settle. Observe and breathe. And then slowly find your way into a comfortable seat. And trying to keep the gaze soft or the eyes closed. And grounding down through the sits bones, sitting up nice and tall. And drawing the hands together at heart center. And taking a moment here to come back to the intention that you set at the beginning of your practice, your sankalpa. Using your inner voice to silently repeat this intention a few times. Let it sink into your heart. And take the intention that you set with you off the mat. And with gratitude for our practice and with gratitude for our community, thank you so much for sharing your space with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you like the video, let me know. Give it a like. Leave me a comment so I know how it left you feeling. And don't forget to subscribe. Have a lovely rest of your day, everyone. Thank you, thank you.